Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Chess Masters. Today we're going to be learning about the king and queen mate. Orange Bamboo is going to explain this while I move the pieces around. Go ahead.
Okay, so the king and queen mate is pretty simple. It's basically an endgame where there's only a king and a queen versus one king. So as you can see in this position, white is now completely crushing because it has a king, a queen versus just black, only king. So this is going to be a position where it might be hard to learn at first, but as you understand the pattern, it'll be easier for you.
So to start off, we're going to try and make a box around the black king. So this video is going to be teaching you how white is going to win the game. You have to start by making a box around black. So a good move here, well, let's give black a random move. Let's say, I don't know, king to d4. Then we start our box making. Now, we want to slowly push the king to a corner or an edge of the board so that we can checkmate it. And one of the easiest ways we can do that is by slowly enclosing it. So a good way to start would play queen to h3 or queen to f3. As you can see, let's give the better move. You can see that there's already a box forming. And now black's king is forced to stay inside of this box.
And also, you might really be tempted to check him, but Yawning Astronaut, do you want to see what happens if you continuously check the other player's king?
Right, so the bad news is if you check somebody constantly, like you were to play queen to f5 or queen to c3, the bad news about that is your box is automatically removed. Let's choose a position where you check, let's say, this move. Notice, where is the box? There is no more box. If black chooses to go this way, the box has just gotten larger, not smaller. And we're trying to get the king to the edge of the board to checkmate. So that would not be a good move. Instead, a better move would be to close the box even more. Now notice, black is actually forced to go in either of these directions. And that actually helps us close the box some more. But to make it a little more complicated, let's see what happens if black goes here. Now you can see there actually is no viable way to make the square smaller. The queen can't get any closer to the king without being taken. Orange Bamboo, what do we do in this position?
Well, the king and queen checkmate is actually a game of copying. Wherever the king goes, you're going to do the exact same as the queen. And as you might notice, the queen will always be a knight's move away from the king. As you can see, it's a knight formation. So, if, let's say the king goes right, that means the queen is going to go right. If it goes diagonal up, the queen's going to go diagonal up.
Right, so we would have to do this move, you're saying?
Yes, since the previous move, the king moved diagonal up. And you'll see there's no checks until the final checkmate.
Right. And also, we see how the box went from going on the 4th rank to going to the 5th rank. So we can see it slowly getting smaller. So let's skip forward. I think you get the idea that the queen is slowly making the box smaller and smaller for the king. So let's come to this position. Now, can the queen checkmate the black king on her own?
No, actually, it can't. Because either it's only a check or the queen will just be taken. So the queen always needs someone else's help. And in this case, it's the king.
Let's bring up the king. So let's make moves for both sides. And you can see the black king only has 2 moves to go to. So that when we finally get to this position, there is checkmate coming up in 3 moves. So those 3 moves I can't give you exactly, but I can say the premise is we need to make the box just the tiniest bit smaller. So let's say that we push the white king around instead of going right at it. Notice we might accidentally get a stalemate if we do it that way, and we don't want that.
Yeah, you have to be really cautious about stalemates, and that's something we're going to look at after we finish this checkmate on how stalemates can be super easy to do and how you can stop that.
So now let's say that we give a quick check. Is that okay to do, Orange Bamboo?
Well, in this case, it is because it is making the box smaller and the king is also helping.
Right. Now, another option would be this move, which technically does make the box even smaller. The king would be forced to move this way. Now, we want to be extremely careful here because if we play this move, where can the black king go? Nowhere. It's stalemate. So we'd probably want to play something like this so that when the king moves here, it is checkmate on a4. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is just another episode of Chess Masters, and today we learned about the king and queen mate. Thank you. Goodbye.